a long time ago, about in the mid-1800s, a man invented this box called the Crankie to tell stories with. You know, when we tell stories with books, we turn the pages and look at the pictures as we're telling the story. Well, on a Crankie, you don't have to turn the pages. It takes a lot of work to make a Crankie, though. But what you do is turn the Crankie, and as I'm telling the story, the pictures will come through. You're probably also wondering who the we is when I say we, because I'm standing up here all by myself. Well, let me tell you, there is a we. I am part of the we. I'm Sherida, and Joyce Carroll is the other part of the we. And let me tell you what, Joyce is a great ventriloquist, but Joyce is late for everything. She's been late for every single show we've done.
Granny! Oh, Granny!
She always has a good excuse, so I can't even blame her for being late.
Hold it down there, buddy. Excuse me, Sherida, but I honestly have a really good excuse this time.
I have no doubt, Joyce, you always have a good excuse.
Well, look right here. I just found this little stray out back wandering around. I beg your pardon. But I wasn't wandering. I was looking.
Oh, looking for who?
Oh.
Or looking for what were you looking for?
Well, I wasn't looking for a what. I was looking for a who.
Oh.
Well, now wait. Let's just slow down here a minute, buddy. We need to make some proper introductions.
Yes,
so
we do.
I think maybe I should tell you first that my name is Joyce, and this is my friend Sherida. Hello. Howdy do. Nice to meet you.
Well, hello to you. Now, who are you?
Oh, well, I'm Lester, but Granny sometimes calls me Trouble. Well, or sometimes she calls me Lester Hank, like when I chase her old cat off the porch, or a rabbit running through her pea patch. Oh, that's not good. And,
Well, who were you looking for, Lester?
well, Granny, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, she's my human. Oh, okay. And we live in a little log cabin down near Cattail Creek. I don't know why they call it that. Cats are trouble.
Well, tell me, Lester, what does your granny look like?
Yeah, Lester, can you describe her? Oh, yeah. Ornery as a hornet, but sometimes just as much fun as a greased pig in a bathtub full of mud.
Okay, Lester, that's not quite what I mean. I mean, what color is her hair? And let's see, what was she wearing the last time you saw her?
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. She's got gray fur. Gray fur? I mean, she's got gray hair. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. And she wears it in a knot up on top of her head.
Oh,
a knot? You mean like a bun? Oh, yeah, a bun. And let's see, she was wearing goggles, flippers, and a swimsuit. Oh, now there's quite a clue. At least now we know she likes to swim.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, howdy, are you kidding? She can swim like a blue tick hound on a coon trail. That reminds me, maybe that's how I lost Granny. What do you mean, how you lost Granny? Well, she went down to the creek for a swim, and I was supposed to meet her there, only I got sidetracked by a squirrel, I guess. I bet she's all the way to the San Francisco Bay by now.
Well, I doubt that, Lester. But you know what? We have a story about a lady and her dog who swam all the way from their creek to the ocean. That's what our story is about today on the Crankie.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh no, I'm not kidding.
You're not gonna believe this.
What's that?
But that's exactly what Granny and I did.
No way.
Oh, yes way.
You're that Lester.
I am that Lester. Yeah,
Oh,
boy,
my
she's quite a
goodness.
swimmer. Well, that's quite a coincidence, Lester. I'm shocked. But you know, all this talk about water and the bay is making me think about a song. And you know what? I sure hope you brought your ukulele, Sherida.
Well, you know I did, Joyce.
Oh, well, I feel a song coming on. Well, we've got to have a song that's about water and the bay. You don't happen to know one of those kind of songs, do you, Lester? You can't be talking about that old song called Down by the Bay. That's exactly the one.
That's it.
Yeah, Sherida knows it, and I know it, and since you know it, I think we ought to teach it to the kids, Sherida.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, boy. You guys like to sing? Yeah. Good, good. Well, this is kind of a, what do you call this song, an echo?
An echo song.
Okay.
It's very easy to learn. I love these echo songs. What you're going to do is Joyce is going to sing a line, and then you're going to echo it back to her. You're going to sing it back to her just the way she sang it. It's great because you don't have to know the words until you hear Joyce sing it to you.
I don't know, sounds complicated to me. It's
Oh,
not
no, it's very easy,
Lester.
Lester.
No, it'll be easy. So you echo what I say right after I say it, all right?
Okay, you ready?
Give us a little clue. What do you mean, am
do
I
it.
ready? I was born ready. Okay. Down by the bay,
Down by the bay,
where the watermelon grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say,
my mother would say,
did you ever see a goose kissing a moose? Down by the bay, down by the bay,
down by the bay,
where the watermelon grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say,
my mother would say,
did you ever see a whale with a polka dot tail? Down by the bay, down by the bay,
down by the bay,
where the watermelon grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say,
my mother would say,
did you ever see a fly wearing a tie? Down by the bay, down by the bay,
down by the bay,
where the watermelons grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say,
my mother would say,
did you ever see a bear combing his hair? Down by the bay, down by the bay,
down by the bay,
where the watermelons grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say,
my mother would say,
did you ever see a snail reading the nail? Down by the bay, down by the bay, where the watermelons grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say,
my mother would say,
did you ever see a snake baking a cake? Down by the bay, down by the bay,
down by the bay,
where the watermelons grow,
where the watermelons grow.
back to my home,
Back to my home,
I dare not go,
I dare not go.
for if I do,
For if I do,
my mother would say, did you ever see a coon howling at the moon? Down by the bay. Thank you. Thank you. My word, these guys sure can hoot and holler. That was some good singing, Sherida, and thank you for playing that little thing you got there.
Well, thank you, Lester. You know, I don't believe I've ever heard a coon howling at the moon.
Well, truth be told, only coon dogs howl at the moon.
Well, I've never seen a lot of those other things you talked about either.
Well, that's all right. We're just having fun today.
Well, you know what, Lester? I bet Granny Lou's at home waiting on you, and she's probably worried about now.
You know what? You're right about that. And you know what else? They say all roads lead home. So I think I better hit the trail.
I think you better.
Lester. Well, good seeing you and good meeting all the kids, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, good to meet you guys. We'll see you on down the trail. So long. Adios. Oh, boy. Now, can you help me? Which way do I need to go from here, Joyce? Well, I don't know. If you came in this way, maybe you better go back out that way.
I hope they can find their way back. Wasn't it a huge coincidence that the very story that we're going to tell today on the Cranky is about Granny Lou and Lester? And we just met Lester. He's very famous. You know, I'm glad Joyce is back. And now that she's back, we'll start the Cranky story. I'll tell the story, and Joyce is going to be the Cranky. Joyce is going to turn the Cranky.
Yeah, and also I promise that I won't be cranky while I crank the Cranky.
Thank you, Joyce. Could we get these lights off, please? We want to turn the lights off so you can see the pictures very clearly on the Cranky. This is a great group of kids, and we appreciate y'all coming today. Okay, let's hold it down and we can hear the story. It was a beautiful, warm summer morning outside of Granny Lou's cabin, but she hadn't noticed. She was too busy looking through the photos and reminiscing, you know. She was thinking about things that she'd done in the past. Well, today, Granny Lou was feeling antsy. Her foot was a-tapping, her fingers were a-thumping, and she was doing that sound with her tongue. You know, that meant she was thinking really hard about something. Now, you see, Granny Lou was what some folks called an adventuress. Well, other folks thought she was a little odd, but Granny Lou didn't pay any mind to what other folks thought. She was too busy living her own best life. Even when she was a little girl, her mama would say, "That little Lulu," that's what her mama called her, little Lulu, "that little Lulu never did let grass grow under her feet." Well, what she meant was that little Lulu was antsy as a child and she was fidgety as an adult. As Granny Lou continued looking through her photos, a thought occurred to her, and she called out, "Lester, Lester boy, come here." Well, Lester came a-scrambling and slid into the room like a kid on a frozen pond, and he stopped right beside Granny's chair. She looked down at him and smiled. "Lester, I've been sitting here thinking to myself," and I said, "Self? What are you doing in this cabin on a beautiful day like today?" And then I answered myself and I said, "Well, wasting time, that's what." So Lester, we're not wasting any more time. There's things that need doing and places that need seeing and fun that needs having. I'm feeling like a swim in the creek. Lester's little tail was wagging so hard, his whole body was wagging with it. He loved going on these outings with Granny Lou because he knew that every one turned into an adventure. All righty then. Granny Lou found her swimsuit and her goggles and her snorkels and her flippers, and when she had geared up, she helped Lester put on his snorkel and flippers. Together they flopped in their flippers onto the front porch. Granny Lou stopped for a minute to breathe in that fresh, clean air. "Yes, sirree, Lester, we're gonna have a fine day today." Slowly, They began their wobbly walk across the porch, down the steps, and across the yard to the creek. Now, as you can imagine, walking in flippers on dry land is not the easiest thing to do, but if you knew Granny Lou, you'd know she didn't always do things the easy way. And she was a firm believer that there was no such thing as a mistake if you learned something from it. Well, today Granny Lou learned it's a whole lot easier to carry your flippers out to the creek and put them on right before you get in the water. As they stood on the edge of the creek, Granny Lou said, "Now, Lester, don't go chasing those crawdaddies. We just jump right in and let's be on our way." Once they were under the water, there was no more talking, so Granny Lou and Lester had figured out their own way of talking under the water with their hands. You know, they would use their index finger and point here and there to point things out to each other, and then they would use a thumbs up when they saw something was really cool. And then there was that was it actually. You didn't need much talking when you were underwater. The clear, sparkling water of the creek was just the thing Granny Lou needed to wake up her senses. She turned to Lester with a big thumbs up, kicked her flippers, and off they went. Before long, the creek had emptied off into a little pond, and there were frog families everywhere. Granny Lou looked around and pointed for Lester to see. There were the bullfrogs, the cricket frogs, and the peepers all playing around them. Granny Lou saw a motion out of the corner of her eye, and she looked up, and there was a mama duck catching minnows to feed her baby, and her tail was sticking straight up in the air. Lester and Granny Lou gave a big thumbs up to each other on that one. Then they swam on. They looked all around them at the unusual plants and animals, and there resting on the bottom was a scary alligator carp with a big, long snout full of teeth. Snails were eating on water plants everywhere, and huge catfish were cleaning the algae off the rocks. Granny Lou and Lester were having a truly fine day, but it wasn't long they noticed that the water was changing around them, and their bodies began to sway back and forth with the movement. Unlike the clear, calm waters of the pond, this water was beginning to look a little hazy, and it was moving somehow. Granny Lou was confused, and she needed a minute to clear her thoughts. She moved her fins and waved her arms around and slowly turned around and around, wondering what had happened. To her right, she saw a seahorse floating by. Wait, what? A seahorse? Granny Lou didn't have any seahorses in her creek. She looked closer. It was a seahorse, and porpoises and starfish and lots of other sea creatures. How in the world did she and Lester go from the little creek beside her house all the way to the ocean? All of a sudden it came to her, "Oh my goodness gracious me," she thought, as she realized what had happened. We swam out of the creek into the pond, out of the pond into the lake, out of the lake into the river, and from there the river current swished us out to the ocean. Goodness, 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 what a pickle we are in. Meanwhile, Lester had no idea what Granny Lou was thinking, but he could tell it was something important because she was still turning slowly around in the water. Then Granny Lou looked up and saw they were a long way from the surface. And when she looked down, she had to squint because it was hard to see down through those deep, dark waters, but there she thought she saw yes, it was a sunken pirate ship. She waved her pointed finger rapidly and for Lester to see, and she pointed down to the seafloor so Lester would make sure he could see the sunken pirate ship, and Lester's little tail started twitching furiously. Well, as furiously as a tail can switch underwater, which, as you probably know, isn't much. Well, Granny Lou thought of all the cool things they could find in a pirate ship, and she wanted badly to explore it. Sadly, it was starting to get dark, and she knew they had to find their way back to dry land. The sunken ship would have to wait for another day. There was so much more to see under the sea, but daylight was running out, and so she began swimming toward shallow water and land. The whole swim back, Granny Lou was pointing out the amazing variety of creatures that she saw as she passed by. Her finger was pointing here and pointing there, and she pointed out the pajama shark with striped skin, and over there was the dogfish whose face was shaped something like that of a bulldog, and the catfish with the long whiskers, and the frogfish whose body was actually frog-shaped, the butterfly fish with its beautiful colors, the pigfish who had a snout, the striped zebrafish, the dragonfish, the goosefish, so many wondrous creatures. And all of these creatures were named after the animals they looked like on the land. Granny Lou's pointing finger was getting tired, but she continued anyway. Over there was a school of jellyfish whose bodies were squishy like jelly, and they were quite beautiful and colorful. But Granny Lou knew to watch out for them, because she knew those long tentacles could sting you like a bee. Sitting there on its long, skinny legs was a spider crab who looked just like a gigantic red spider. The spider crab is the largest crab in the ocean, and it lives on the ocean floor. Granny Lou had not realized that while she was spotting new creatures, that Lester had found an octopus cave, and he was playing hide and seek with an octopus. Well, the octopus had the advantage, and he won every single time, but Lester didn't mind. He knew a lot of really cool things about octopus, and he knew that octopi, that means more than one octopus, didn't have any bones, and so they can squeeze into the tiniest of places to hide. Well, he also knew that octopi could squirt out a black ink, and it would hide them just long enough to get away from a predator. That's somebody who was chasing after them. And he knew they had to be really smart, because octopi even have brains in their long, leggy tentacles. Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine having brains in your legs? And the coolest thing he knew about octopi were that no matter where they were, they could hide, because they can change their color to the color of sand if they were on sand, the color of a rock if they were on rock, or green if they were hiding behind bushes under the sea. Well, finally, Lester got tired of playing, and he came out of the cave, and when he looked for Granny, he saw her a long way ahead. He quickly swam over to her, and he pointed up to show her that he was ready to go in, and Granny Lou agreed. When they were ready to go in for the day, when they broke the surface, they saw the land, and they began to swim toward it. After reaching the sandy beach, they rested for a bit, and they enjoyed that beautiful sunset. Lester began to wonder, how are they going to get back to the cabin? But Granny Lou had already figured that out. She had noticed all of the little beach houses on the beach, and she thought, well, that'll be a perfect place for us to spend the night, and in the morning, we can rent a car to take us home. Well, that night as they were laying in bed, they talked about all the fun they had had that day, but it wasn't long before exhaustion set in, and they fell into a deep sleep. Tonight, they would dream about future adventures together, even that mysterious sunken pirate ship and all the treasure it could hold. The end. Oh, well, not the end. It's the end of the story, but it's not the end of Granny Lou and Lester's adventures. Their adventures will go on and on. Now the end. Could we get this row of lights back on, please? Thank you. Wasn't that a fantastic trip they made? Can you imagine swimming from a creek all the way to the ocean? I mean, I can hardly imagine swimming across the creek. But she had to pass the creek and the ponds and the lakes and the rivers to get to the ocean. You know what? I really love going on vacation and I love going to the beach. But I have to tell you, my favorite time of my vacation is when I'm back at home because I am so tired. I love to have those memories to fall back on, but I love being back in my own bed. And
oh, where is my little dog gone? Oh, where, Granny? Where can he be, Granny? Oh, I've looked everywhere for my little dog. I can't see him anywhere.
Excuse me, Granny, but I've been trying to tell you that Lester has already headed home. He's been here. He was looking for you.
Well, great day in the morning. Why didn't you just say so?
Well, I've been trying to tell you so. Sorry, Sherida. Here we are again.
Well, hello, and who have we got here?
oh, I'm Sherida. Miss Louise, it is such a pleasure to meet you. You are a hero to me.
Oh, dearie, I'll tell you though, honey, please, just call me Granny or Granny Louise, okay?
Okay, Granny
It's nice
Louise.
to meet you, dear.
It's nice to meet you too, Granny Louise.
Yeah, Sherida was just telling quite a story about you, Granny.
Oh, is that right?
I sure was, Granny. I was telling them the story about the time that you and Lester swam from your cabin all the way to the ocean. Oh, my goodness, what an incredible journey you had that day.
Yes, dear, it was so incredible. You just can't imagine all the wonderful fish friends that Lester and I made along the way.
Oh, you know, speaking of Lester, he just left looking for you. Maybe I could go catch him.
Oh, that little stinker, please do. And if you tell him, tell him I said to quit chasing my cat and running through my pea patch.
I'll do that.
All right,
Granny
thank you, dear.
Louise.
So nice to meet you.
Bye.
See you, Sherida. Granny, you know what? Lester seems like a good dog.
Well, he's good when he's not chasing my cat or chasing a squirrel or running through my pea patch.
Oh, I know. We all have mistakes, you know, but I'm sure he is a very good dog.
He is a good dog, and I'll tell you, though, he's not very good at checkers. I have to let him win half the time.
Oh, my. Well, he may not be good at checkers, Granny, but he is good at swimming, and so are you.
Oh, yes. Well, I believe in exercising the body and the mind.
Oh, the body and the mind, that's good. Well, how is it that you exercise your mind?
Well, I like to do a good puzzle now and then.
Oh, like a picture puzzle or a crossword puzzle?
Well, those are fine, but what I really like is a riddle.
Oh, a riddle.
Yes. Sometimes after dinner, Lester and I go out onto the porch and we play a good game of riddles.
Oh, I think I know the kind you're talking about. I used to do some of those when I was a kid. Sounds like fun. Maybe we can do a riddle with the kids.
Oh, yes. Would you like that?
Yeah. All right. Granny, give these kids a riddle. You have to raise your hand if you think you know the answer, okay? Go ahead, Granny.
All right, let's see. What is black and white and red all over?
Oh, right there in the middle.
Oh, dearie, aren't you smart? She got that right off.
She sure did. That was good, Granny. Give us one a little bit harder.
All right, let's see. Oh, I think I have one. Good, good. What is a red egg inside of the white egg, inside of a green egg.
A red egg inside of a white egg, inside of a green egg. Now keep in mind, riddles can be tricky, and it may not be a real egg, but something that looks like an egg.
Don't give them too many clues now.
It's a fake egg.
A fake egg? What about you in the blue? An Easter egg? No. What if it's not a real egg, but it looks like an egg?
Egg where it's a wooden one, where it's painted, and you open one, and then you open the other until it's very small.
Oh, that's a good guess. Like a nesting eggs, wooden eggs, that one right inside of the other. That's a great one. But can I give them a clue, Granny?
All right.
All right, now, this is an egg that you find in the summertime out in the garden.
Bird egg.
Not a bird egg.
An Easter egg.
Something that tastes delicious when you cut it in half.
Chicken egg.
Chicken egg? That's a good guess. There in the back. Go ahead.
A watermelon.
Oh, yes, she got it right. That's right. And don't you know, children, I grow the best watermelons in the county. I win every time at the fair.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Granny, it's my turn this time.
All right.
I have a riddle this time. All right, see if you guys can get it. What kind of dog is always on time?
Well, it's not Lester, I can tell you that.
What do you think it is?
A watchdog.
A watchdog.
Well, didn't she get that right off of that again? That's so smart. Well, I can tell you that Lester is indeed a watchdog.
Oh, well, that's good.
No, it's not. Last summer, he laid on the front porch and he watched an entire flock of crows eat all my corn.
Oh, well, that's not good. Uh-oh. Well, even though he's not maybe a good watchdog and maybe he's not very good at checkers, I would like to know, however, Granny, how is it that you and Lester became such good swimmers?
Oh, well, now there's a story. A few years ago, Lester and I went down to the creek to go fishing, and Lester caught the cutest little trout you've ever seen.
Oh, my.
Now, normally, we just throw those little fellers back in the water. But Lester said, I'd like to keep this little trout as a pet.
Oh, well. Now, listen, Granny, pets are a lot of responsibility. You have to feed them and water them. I hope that Lester did a good job.
Oh, he did more than a good job. Every day, he would take that little fish out of the water and he would pet it.
Pet the fish
Yes,
every day?
yes. And every day he kept it out just a little bit longer, till finally that little fish didn't want to go back in the water at all.
That's kind of hard to believe, Granny.
Yes, well, that's not the end. Then one day, Lester and I went down to the creek, and that little fish followed us all the way down the trail. When we got to the edge of the water, that little fish slipped in the mud, fell into the water, and nearly drowned.
Granny, are you kidding me?
Well, we had to swim a half a mile to catch him, and then we had to teach him how to swim all over again.
Granny, I think you're pulling my leg.
Actually, I'm pulling your ear, dear.
Oh, Granny, you sure had me going with that story. That was a good one.
That's one my grandpappy used to tell to me when I was a little whippersnapper. We'd sit on the porch, he'd play his banjo, and we'd sing songs.
Oh, you know what? We like to sing songs here too, Sherida and I. Hey, I'll bet you when she gets back, we could sing a song with her. Wouldn't that be nice to do? The kids have already been singing.
Oh, that'd be lovely. I wonder where she's at. Sherida!
Oh, there's no need to yell. Did I hear somebody say, sing a song?
Oh, well, does a skunk wear a stripe?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
what have you got there, Sherida? I think her guitar must have fallen into the creek. It shrank.
This is a ukulele.
Oh, ukulele.
I think you hear those a lot in Hawaii, but now they're popular everywhere.
That's right.
Well, what kind of song can we do?
Well, Granny, since we've asked you to sing, I think the polite thing to do would be to sing a song that you know.
That would be good. Let's see. We've got to do a song about fishes. So how about, do you know the three little fishies?
Do I know the three little fishies? Oh my goodness. When I was little, my mother sang the song Three Little Fishies to me, and she sang it in baby talk, and she would sing like, down in the meadow in an itty bitty pool, them three little fitties and the mama fitty too. That's how she sang it to me because I was little
isn't
when
that
she started
cute?
singing it. But you know that those words got stuck in my head that way, and so if I sing along and I start singing it in baby talk, you'll just have to forgive me.
Well, we'll try then. We don't have any pacifiers for you, so you better not do that too much.
Well, we'll sing it in big talk today. And look what I just happen to have here.
Oh, isn't that a coinkydink?
It sure is a coinky dink.
Yes, looky there, all the words together.
Yeah, I bet we have some good readers here, and if you don't read, you'll be able to follow along when we get to the chorus, right, Sherida?
That's right.
Yeah, the chorus goes, swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. And then Granny, I think you should help sing the verse part. Maybe I'll try to see if I can remember this song. It's been a long time.
Okay. Joyce,
Yes?
we have some of the words here for you.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'll see if I can follow along with the words.
Yes. Can you read?
Yes, I can read, Granny.
Are you ready, Granny?
I'm ready, yes.
Down in the meadow in the itty bitty pool swam three little fishes and the mama fish too.
Swim, said the mama fish, swim if you can. And they swam right over the dam.
Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish.
And they swam right over the dam.
Stop, cried the mama fish, you might get lost. The three little fishes didn't want to be bossed.
The three little fishes swam out to the sea. And they swam right out to the sea.
Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish.
And they swam right out to the sea.
Stop, cried the mama fish, you might get lost. The three little fishes didn't want to be bossed. So three little fishes went out on a spree. And they swam right out to the sea. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. And they swam right out to the sea. Whee! Cried the fishes, we're having lots of fun, and we'll swim in the sea till the day is done.
So they swam till it was dark. Then all of a sudden they spotted a shark.
Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish.
Swish went the water,
Swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water,
swish, swish, swish.
and all of a sudden they spotted a shark. Help, cried the fishes, help, help, they wailed. Then quick as they could, they turned on their tails.
Back to the pond in the meadow they swam.
And they swam
Back over the dam.
Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water, swish, swish, swish. Swish went the water,
Swish, swish, swish.
and out back over the dam.
And they swam back over the dam. Oh, goodness me. Yee-haw. I don't remember the last time I had that much fun, Sherida. Thank you so much for playing your tiny guitar.
Ukulele.
Oh, yeah. Ukulele.
Close enough, Granny.
Yeah, that was good, Granny. Thank you.
That was fun. It was fun for me to reminisce singing that song too.
Uh-huh.
Well, Granny, why don't you do one more riddle?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I've got just a dandy for you.
All right. I better get your thinking caps on.
What can run but never walks? Has a mouth but never talks? Has a head but never weeps? Has a bed but never sleeps?
Who said that? Did you say that?
Oh, Lordy mercy me, she got it. I thought I had him stumped for sure. That was so good.
You had me stumped, Granny.
Yeah, that was a good one, Granny. Y'all are good at this riddle game. Well, I hope you remember those and try them back when you get home. And speaking of home, Granny, Lester's probably all the way back there by now.
I bet he is.
Well,
Probably back there waiting
my.
for you.
I had so much fun I almost forgot, but I better head home to Cattail Creek and find that old dog Lester and maybe fix him a mess of biscuits. Not those dog kind. Oh, yeah. It was so nice to meet you all, and Sherida and Joyce. It was so nice, and I'll tell you what, maybe sometime you can all come down to Cattail Creek for a visit, and I'll fix you up a mess of biscuits and gravy.
Oh, sounds good, Granny.
I'll
long.
take you up on that, Granny.
All
I can't wait to go to Cattail
we'll
Creek.
see you all later. Bye-bye. Oh, where is that little
Wasn't
dog?
that amazing? We got to meet Granny, Lou, and Lester both today, and they're famous. They were in the newspaper. That's how I learned about them first, because I was reading the newspaper, and there it was, their whole story. And so I thought, we need to tell the kids that story.
Well, hot diggity dog, what are you doing here? What do you mean, what am I doing here? What are you doing
Sounds
back
like
here?
Lester.
How'd I get
Can't be
here?
Lester, he's
Lester,
home.
I'm sorry, but we're still trying to finish up the show. I don't know what you're doing back here.
I don't know what I'm doing back here either.
Larry!
Lester?
I know.
Lester, I don't know what happened, but you're back here where you started.
Well, I guess it turns out not all roads do lead home.
I guess not.
Well, I don't know what happened.
You know, maybe you got sidetracked by a squirrel again.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
that could be.
Well, you know what, Lester? I'm glad you're back.
What?
Because I'm sorry you're lost, but I'm glad you're back. I read in that newspaper article I was just telling the kids about that you are a poet. Well, I consider myself quite a poet too, so I'm sure that we would love to hear one of your poems.
Oh, well, I'm kind of shy about my poems, but...
Oh, no, don't be shy.
I like to read other people's poems, and I can tell you one from my favorite poets.
Okay.
Yeah. It goes a little like this, and it kind of fits in today. All right.
Well, go right ahead.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Okay. I found a flounder, and I thought, swell, I'll take him to school for show and tell. But I forgot, for quite a spell, to take him to school for show and tell. So 2 weeks went by, and I thought, well, I'll take him to school for show and smell.
Show and smell?
Yeah. Do you know who wrote that poem?
I do, because he's one of my favorite poets.
Who's that?
Shel Silverstein.
Oh, yeah, I like old Shell. I wish we could have time to do some more of those.
That's all right, but maybe we have time for one more song.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Yeah. And y'all have been such a good audience. We thank you for coming down here to the library in Whitwell. And maybe we will see y'all down on Cattail Creek sometime. But meanwhile, we got another Echo song just before you hit the road.
Remember what an echo song is? Joyce will sing a line, and you sing the line back to her. And this is our last song, so everybody sing nice and loud for us, okay?
It's an
All
easy
right.
one. So, all right.
Swimming in a little pond.
Swimming in a little pond. What did I see?
What did I see?
I I saw a little crawfish.
I saw a little crawfish
Chasing after me.
chasing after me.
Swimming in a big pond.
Swimming in a big pond.
What did I see?
What did I see?
I saw a snapping turtle.
I saw a snapping turtle
Chasing after me.
chasing after me.
Swimming in the river.
Swimming in the river.
What did I see?
What did I see?
I saw an alligator.
I saw an alligator
Chasing after me.
chasing after me.
Swimming in the ocean.
Swimming in the ocean.
What did I see?
What did I see?
I saw a yellow jellyfish.
I saw a yellow jellyfish
Chasing after me.
chasing after me.
Swimming in the ocean.
Swimming in the ocean.
What did I see?
What did I see?
I saw a purple octopus.
Saw a purple octopus
Chasing after me.
chasing after me.
Swimming in the ocean.
Swimming in the ocean.
What did I see?
What did I see?
I saw a scary shark.
Saw a scary shark
Chasing after me.
chasing after me. Oh my goodness, Lester. What did you do when you saw that scary shark?
What do you think, man? I ran. Time to go. Good to see you guys. It's time for me to scoot on out of here. I think Granny might have some biscuits cooking.
She might.
Oh, I might be over there
See you around,
shortly.
Sherida.
Bye, Lester.
See you kids later. So long. See that little guy.
Make sure you take the
Bye-bye.
road.
All right, Joyce, you better get me going in the right. Bye-bye. So long. See you later.